Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Gary, and there is one big event, isn't there, that's happening this summer that I haven't yet mentioned on this channel, and that is, of course, the Women's FIFA World Cup this summer in Australia and New Zealand. It's the 9th tournament to take place since the World Cups began in the women's game, so without further delay, let's have a look at the groups, the grounds, and of course, who are the favourites for the trophy. Yes, so welcome back to the channel and welcome to those that are new here. So the World Cup, as I've said, is on Australia and New Zealand this summer. The United States are, of course, the defending champions, having previously won the last two. So they're on for a hat-trick of World Cups. But for me, for the first time in a long time, they're not going to be favourites going into this tournament. They're still going to be a huge threat. Of course, you can never discount the 4 times champions. But there are plenty of other teams that are going in with a shout here. So we'll look at who are some of the best teams and the favourites to win this tournament in a moment, but let's first take a look at the groups. Now, the gap in quality in these groups is huge, and we're going to see some, I think, outrageous score lines. Don't be surprised to see a few 7-0s, maybe even bigger winning margins. The Euros, of course, came under criticism when England scored almost 30 goals or whatever it was in their group games, and I think the dividing quality will be even greater at the World Cup looking at some of these groups. Don't expect to see many surprises, if any at all, here. First off, looking at England's group, England will qualify comfortably from this group. I have no doubt whatsoever. Denmark, Haiti and China. China are probably the second team you would think. It's between them and Denmark. It is one of those places that are going to be up for grabs. England are no doubt going through, probably as group winners. But let's take each group down separately here and have a look at them all individually, and you'll see what I mean about how the group stages might have a few high score lines within them. So within Group A, you would expect Norway and Switzerland to qualify. However, home advantage may have a big impact for New Zealand. They may perform better than usually expected, so it's probably not one of the most cut and dry groups, but certainly the two favourites within this group are going to be Norway and Switzerland. In Group B, you then have Australia, Republic of Ireland, Nigeria and Canada. I think the two clear teams there to go through will be Australia and Canada. It will be very surprising if either one of those two teams don't qualify. Looking at Group C, again, two obvious candidates to go through here, and I expect nothing different. Spain and Japan will qualify from this group. I have no doubt about that. Then in Group D, as I've said, England are clear favourites to win this group, and then I would probably say it's between Denmark and China. It is one of the more competitive. I'm going with China. There's not going to be much in it though, either one of those teams. Haiti, not much hope for them. I think they're going to lose by quite a few goals really in a few of these matches, but let's see. Group E is obviously the 4-time winners, the United States, and you would probably say it's going to be the United States and the Netherlands that go through there. Brazil and France are then going to be comfortable in Group F. You wouldn't expect the other two teams there to cause any issues at all. You're then going to probably say Sweden and Italy within Group G as well. Argentina may cause, I don't know, it's a bit tough to figure out what sort of team they're going to send out, but the traditional powerhouses here, Sweden, should comfortably get through, as should Italy, really. And then Group H, you have Germany and Korea, who, again, should make short work of this group, and both teams should go through. So I think in each group, there's relatively, maybe apart from one or two, most groups are pretty straightforward at this World Cup. So very quickly then, they're the groups, but let's have a look at the 9 host cities. Like I said, it's been cut between Australia and New Zealand, and here they are. So there are 9 host cities. The 83,500 Stadium Australia will host the final, with the Eden Park, the flagship for New Zealand, as their stadium, which will host one of the semi-finals. But a nice mixed bag there. 5 host cities in Australia, 4 in New Zealand. It should make for a pretty good tournament. So the tournament kicks off on the 20th of July with New Zealand hosting Norway in their opening match on the opening day, and Australia hosting the Republic of Ireland. The final is planned to take place exactly 1 month later in a Stadium Australia, like I said, 8 p.m. local time, but 11 a.m. UK time on a Sunday morning, so that makes for a great kick-off time, really, for a final. Wake up straight into the match. But now the key bit, on to the favourites. Who are the favourites? So I think we need to start, really, for those that are new to the women's game, let's just quickly put up the FIFA World Rankings. So as you can see, it's slightly different to the men. So if you're only used to the male game, there's going to be some teams in there that you wouldn't expect to see within the top 10. Predominantly the USA, Sweden, Canada and Australia. These aren't traditionally in the male game big, strong teams, but in the women's game, very much so. The United States are 4 times champions. Germany are 2 times champions. So the United States are the big historical team, with Germany the big historical team from a European perspective. However, we all know FIFA World Rankings for the most part are absolute rubbish. Now, I can promise you this, the United States are not the best team in the world at the moment, and they haven't been, I would say, for 15 to 18 months, but it is what it is. They were so dominant beforehand, it's been proven quite hard to take them off their perch in terms of that number 1 spot. Without a doubt, and I am not saying this just because of my bias, but without a doubt for me, England are currently the best team in the world. Obviously the European champions, and as of last week, the finalissima champions as well. Brazil obviously are the South American champions, who they beat in that final on penalties. But England are currently on a 30 game unbeaten run, where they've beat every single nation as far as I can recall within this top 10. It's just been a phenomenal run from England. They've beat the US, they've beat Germany, they've beat Sweden, they've beat Brazil. They beat Brazil. They beat everybody. England currently will be going to this tournament as the team to beat. There is no doubt about that. Then the US, I would even put them even lower. I would say Germany in particular probably going to have a better tournament than them, or more likely to win the tournament than them at the moment. Spain as well. I know they're currently 7th, but I really like the way the Spanish women play football. It's exactly the same as the men. If you've never seen the Spanish women play, it's all about possession, keep the ball. You can't get the ball off them, and they're going to be a huge threat going into this tournament. Brazil are obviously the South American champions. So I don't think this is gonna be the first tournament where the US genuinely has really competitive teams up against them. It's not just going to be one team that maybe upset them. There's 4 or 5 teams. I would say the United States, Germany, England, France, Spain, Brazil. I almost had the top 10 then, but 6 of those 6 teams, I think one of those will be the winner. And I don't think it's going to be the United States. I really don't. And I hope it isn't. And not just because I'm an England fan, but it's important, isn't it, that you just don't get one team winning 3 trophies on the bounce. Well, I think it is anyway. I certainly won't be saying that if it was England 3 on the bounce. But I think in the women's game now, it needs that competitive edge. It's been too dominated by Germany in Europe and the US in, obviously, Americas and on the World Cup stage. So it needs more teams coming in. And I do believe this is the time. And it is England's best time. England are the best team in the world. There's no doubt about it. At the moment, England are the best team in the world. But it does not mean you can go there with a God-given right of thinking you can win this World Cup. Of course you can't. There are plenty of teams there that can beat England on the night. And it's going to make a fantastic tournament outside the group stages. I think the group stages are going to be fun. They're going to be professional, but it's going to really show the divide in quality in the women's game. And like I said, don't be surprised to see some 7 or 8-0 victories here. It's a shame, but it is what it is. I think once we're through the group stages, however, though, this tournament is going to be a fantastic tournament, incredibly competitive. So that's my thoughts on the Women's World Cup. What are your thoughts, guys? Who do you think is going to win? I obviously pick England, not because of their quality, but because I'm English anyway. But all the stars seem to have aligned for England. You might just claim that we've peaked too soon on a 30-game unbeaten run, but let's hope not. We're certainly due a loss, which is a bit unnerving if you put it like that. But I think the 3 Lions are in the best possible place. Who do you guys think will win the tournament? Will the United States get their hat-trick of World Cups, or will it be another team, either the Germany or Japan or someone like that, winning it again, or another new team with their hands on that trophy? Let me know on your thoughts in the comments below. If you're new to this channel and you've enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe and share, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.